With SlideKick, you have a couple of options. By default, you have the complete deck mode. What this means is that once you provide your prompt in the prompt box, first of all, our tool will come up with a storyline that will propose a narrative, right? A consulting grade narrative. You also have an opportunity to switch to single slide mode where you can create slides one slide at a time, and then you can also upload and edit your existing presentation. But let's go back to the complete deck. Here you have an opportunity to enter a very detailed prompt, specifically going, slide by slide and explaining what you're looking to get out of this. Or you can also provide here a very basic, high-level prompt and allow the AI to do the thinking about what story to tell. Before we hit submit, let me just draw your attention to a couple of options that you have down here. So first of all, again, you can select a theme that you can use for this generation. By default, you'll have the Perceptis theme, but you have also a couple of others. And you can also add your own theme by uploading a template. You have an opportunity here, for example, to upload a PDF or an Excel that you've been working on. Web search gives you access to obviously public information that's out there on the web. And the knowledge base is, again, your your organization's long-term memory. But let's go ahead and click submit. So the generation here with the complete deck mode is a two-step process. It takes about 3 minutes for our tool to come up with a comprehensive storyline that is editable, and you can make any changes that you want, and you do it before you see the final slides. So in the storyline, you have the outline of the slides that the AI came up with. You have the detailed description of what's going to go on those slides, what are the numbers, outlines, etc., etc. So here you have an opportunity to change the title. You can change or add description to the title. You have an opportunity to drag things around. You have an opportunity to add new slides and provide additional information in that way. You also see the directional layout that AI is going to use for this slide. Once you're happy with the storyline, you click Approve and Generate. It takes about 6 to 9 minutes to generate the actual presentation. So all in all, 3 minutes to get from your prompt to the storyline, and from the storyline to the final presentation. Call it 10 to 15 minutes, you get your deck. When your document is generated, the beauty is that you have the opportunity to download the PowerPoint right away. One promise, and that's not non-negotiable for us at Perceptis, is that your slides, they must be PowerPoint native. This means that every graph, every shape, every icon, every text box, every chart, they are PowerPoint native elements, meaning once you download them, you have an opportunity to select anything, change it, delete it, add text, manipulate the numbers, etc. And the reason being is we want to make sure that you have full control over your documents. We would never serve you an SVG or an image of something that should be an actual PowerPoint element. Same goes for the tables and shapes and everything else that you might see in this presentation. Now, before we download it as PowerPoint, we have other opportunities to continue working on your document. One way would be by using the edit box here. For example, what you can say here is that this slide needs to contain 4 columns instead of 3. All right, so in this case, I'm going to turn off the web search. So we're going to submit it. And the tool is going to work on it in the background. With some other slides, you can make more precise adjustments. For example, you could select here and say, phase 3 is unnecessary. Remove this part. You can continue dragging slides around, or you can just add a new slide. Once I have a new slide, I can tell what I would like to see here. Create a slide with next steps. As you can see, multiple slides are being generated at the same time, so you can continue working on your presentation. Now, let me show you another cool feature that you have access to either in this mode, or you can also navigate to it in the navigation bar. Slide library. So I'm going to click one here. Slide library is a collection of best slides given to you by Perceptis, so that whatever idea you have, you can find a basic structure and you can evolve your visual from these templates. I'm gonna unselect some of the sources that I don't need at the moment, slide key, knowledge base, and order document. I'm just gonna focus on the Perceptis library. And I'm gonna increase the tiles here. So here I have an opportunity to quickly find something like a funnel slide. And as you can see, there are multiple variations of that. You can also find something like a pyramid. Gantt chart. Bar chart. Or even more conceptual slides such as roadmaps. Once you have something that you actually like, what you can do is you can select a slide and you can copy and edit it in SlideCake. The slide is going to be pasted as is. So where we go from here is we use the same edit box as we did with other slides, and we can provide instructions on what we would like to change here. Preserve the visual. Convert this into a slide about future developments in corporate AI expected in 2027. While this is happening, let's go back and see what happened to some of the other slides that we were working on in parallel. So this is the next step slide. This is the Gantt chart where we removed phase 3. As you can see, the tool was smart enough to readjust all the other elements of the slide and make sure that it's taking up most of the real estate of the slide. And then we also have now a 4-column slide here. Let me show another very nice feature that you have at Perceptis. Whenever you have slides that are referencing external information, such as either a public web search or actually something from the knowledge base, again, the long-term memory about your organization, you have an opportunity to not only see the sources on the slide, but you also have the sources provided as links at the bottom. You can click on them and see the original source where the information has come from. And you can use your own judgment to identify whether these sources are authoritative enough, and you can verify that the numbers that you're seeing on the slide are actually coming from somewhere and they're not just mere hallucinations. Now, as we are reviewing the progress here, we can go back now to our roadmap slide and see that it actually was populated with the information on the advancements in 2027. As you can see, the visual is preserved. We can go back to the original visual and see what has changed after we submitted our request. Let us show another nice feature, and that one has to do with maps. In corporate world, we often have to work with geographic maps and other different representations. So let me show you what it can do. Here's an example. Produce a map of the United States showing the degree of AI adoption in 2026 across the states. Use colors to indicate the degree of AI adoption. Make sure to include key takeaways on the right hand side. I'm going to keep the web search enabled in this case because I want to make sure that the information actually has a source. All right, so the slide is now generated, and let me draw your attention to a couple of things here. First of all, let me make it bigger. So first of all, we have a very nice map of the United States on the left here, and we can see that the slides are color-coded in multiple ways, and there is a proper legend here at the bottom. There is also a source that was used. Now, as far as key takeaways go, they are taking up a little bit too much space, in my view, but this is because we didn't specify what is the recommended width of this key takeaway box, and we can change it with the prompt. The cool thing here is that we do have a source that we can click on and again make sure that this information is existing somewhere and where it's coming from, and we can now verify how much we are trusting these sources. Another awesome feature here is that there is a review alternative here at the bottom. We can click on it, and if there are some things that we are not excited about the original slide, they might already be addressed in the alternative. So these two slides, they look pretty much the same, but as you look closer, you realize that, for example, key takeaways, in my view, are better formatted here on the right. They have more space here between the bullets. The slide is more readable, so I'm actually going to switch to this. And now this is what I'm going to use in my presentation. So next step, let's download the PowerPoint and review it together. A complex presentation like this might take a couple of seconds to download, but normally you don't have to wait for too long. So let's take a look at this deck together. So as mentioned previously, every single element here is editable, modifiable, movable, deletable. That's for the sake of making it easier for you to have full control over your presentation. The graphs are also editable. You can change the style, you can edit data, you can change the chart type, etc. So this is an opportunity for us to make any final changes that AI just doesn't seem to be handling well. We can always reduce the font size, and make any final changes that we need. Have a beautiful Gantt chart, full control over the elements, legend, etc. As far as maps go, again, full control over the elements within the map. Right, can be moved, changed, etc. There you go. So please sign up for Perceptis. You can enjoy a free tier and make sure that you can get the value that you are looking for. And then if you are ready, sign up for the business tier or enterprise tier and use your own corporate style. You'll never have to suffer making presentations by hand again. Thank you. Good luck.